Hey guys, this is Ryan Gellings, and I'm going over chapters 4 through 6 on Predictably Irrational. Alright, jumping into it. Chapter 4, Cost of Social Norms. We are happy to do things for free, but not when we get paid for them too much. In other words, with the market norms thing, which I really appreciated, because I kind of thought about this, but I never actually thought about this. Like with the dining room example, like people are fine with bringing drinks over as a gift, which gifts are different from cash, but the moment you bring cash, like thank you for the dinner, and pay someone, they feel offended suddenly, despite it being a nice trade-off. But people like doing nice things. It kind of defeats the purpose and the point, right? I also thoroughly enjoyed the debate of living in a market versus social norm society. What was it? Because just it's so easily applied to our daily lives, and with the market and marketing, it's fun to see. But I remember when my dad was moving houses, I didn't ask any of my friends to help because I didn't want to pay them. And later on, they got upset with me for not asking them for help. And well, later on when they were moving, one of them didn't ask me for help. I understood how they felt, and I was like, wow, that was a douchey move. So it was neat to see that applied to real life and getting the actual configuration of it. And also something else I enjoyed seeing is this is my favorite phrase, because there's so many backhanded people and backhanded things in the world. The most expensive stuff is free stuff, because free stuff comes with expectations. Oh, so many times have people gone astray and done things wrong with that. I can already say last semester, me and my roommates, we went over to a dorm to hang out, and they made us cookies. When we went back, we didn't make them cookies, didn't go hang out with them anymore because we were busy with school. They would show up and get mad. So it's fun to see that actually put into action. All right. And something else I enjoyed seeing is, it's kind of like the lawyer example in chapter 4, where they were more than okay to volunteer their time because they were worth volunteering, but they weren't worth $10 worth of time. Their value is way ahead of that, with making 0 more of a appealing number than anything above it, which would be highly unlikely in a market society. But this is social norm within that. It's a mix of social and marketing, I think, at least. But it just goes to show that 0 is more attractive in some cases. All right, and which that reminds me of the other example they used in that, which the master of, I believe, the bamboo art said, I do not charge my students because they could not afford my talent. I was kind of thinking, and this is a cliche since we go to Benedictine, that kind of relates to going to church. The priests don't charge us to attend because we could not afford, to learn about God. All right. And something else I saw was people will distract themselves with money instead of doing a good performance. I appreciated that example a lot, because also that can be just easily applied to so many areas of my life as well. I remember I used to work at Cheddar Scratch Kitchen. I was an excellent employee. I did several shifts. I was good at showing up until I wasn't, when they made a deal with us where if you recruited someone, you got $200 a pop, and I recruited 14 people, so I didn't really need to work, so I worked less and less. I focused more on the money rather than the actual enjoyment of the job. Something also, I think social norms should be applied more in business worlds, creating a sense of community. That's why I stayed at Cheddar's for 2 years, because they had such a good community, even though I didn't work too many shifts. But a community creates a sense of obligation. I felt obligated to hire people, which, give and take, that did benefit me, but it also benefited Cheddar's pretty heavily because I filled the departments. All right, now chapter 5. I know chapter 4 was pretty long there, but it was an enjoyable chapter. All right. Free can make us less selfish. And I enjoyed reading, asking for money can introduce a market norm within friendships within people. Like, I didn't realize that you could, I always thought of social norms just being social norms and market norms being market, but I didn't realize you could apply it to just real world relationships. Like, you think about it, but you never actually apply it to your situation and think about that like that. Let's see. I remember I went out to eat with a friend over the break, and before I left for college, she bought me a dinner without me knowing, and I felt bad ever since then. So when we went out to get ice cream over the break, she paid for mine again, and right before I was about to leave, I gave her money for hers, and she looked very disappointed, and she tried to stop me, but then I insisted, and she took the money, but she did not seem very happy. She was more happy paying for me than she was getting hers paid for. All right. And also something I enjoyed to do was reading the experiments, like with the chocolate and the Starbursts. Cheap people will buy things cheap more, but if it's free, more people will come by. I decided to try this experiment on my roommates, which well, Sean was terrible about it because he didn't do what I wanted him to do. But reading, you can think about it more like I'm more likely going to get bang for my buck, so I'm going to pay money since it's a fair trade-off, and I'm going to take more, rather than if it's free, I'm taking one and going. It's just like on Halloween when they have that take one free bowl, and then some people will take the whole bowl, which is not a bad move. Also, something I enjoyed was the example for sushi, because I've been in that exact predicament. Every time I go to sushi with one of my friends, we always have like something left, like a crab salad or one of the appetizers or sushi, one of the sushi rolls, and none of us want to take the last one because we don't want to jeopardize anyone else's desire to have it. And then chapter 6, the really freaking weird one. Goodness. We are emotional, unemotional. That's a basic thing you get from people. Two different people at two different times. It's like when you haven't had your coffee. But non-emotional and conservative. I know when I have energy, I turn into a different person and nearly buy a trip to Switzerland, which happened last week. $712, perfect. And just a more rational decision making versus me being calm, like I guess right now, and being conservative with my decisions and not deciding to go eat out and go eat the calf. Well, that is my opinion on the book and my thoughts on it throughout reading it for chapters 4 through 6. Hope you guys have a good day.